Hello, Durud and Shalom. Guys, I see the chat is already busy. That's great. We have a lot of interesting things to talk about. I see a lot of Israelis are in the chat. I came out early. I came early so that Israelis are here. Are Israelis here? Oh, Heavy Gretel is here saying that she liked. I can see Nail Bunny, Amikai is here. Math, Shinobu. Okay, fantastic. The chat is full. The chat is busy. We're talking about Khamenei's removal by Israel, hopefully soon. We're going to be discussing whether or not that's going to be happening or not. Oh, Nima is here. Hi, Nima. Let me actually talk about this for a second, okay? Because the very idea that if we this is now a common discussion that all the red lines have been removed and the option of removal of Khamenei by Israel is up on the table. By the way, Netanyahu is going to Washington D.C. tomorrow to meet with Trump, and they're going to be talking about many things, but the main thing they're going to be talking about is Iran. And I think part of the discussion is the option of removing Khamenei. And let me just tell you, one way or another, Israel is going to remove the threat to its citizens. And I know there's a lot of young Israelis in the chat that watch our show. And I don't know how much you appreciate this. How much you appreciate that you managed to get together and build a country strong enough that when it throughout its history, every time it's promised its people that whoever came for you to hurt you, all the enemies of Israel, anybody that dared threaten the Israeli people, Israel managed to go find them in whatever hole they were hiding, and eliminate them. Every time Israel, every time somebody somewhere decided that they want to hurt Israelis or destroy Israel, the response was the elimination of that threat. And you managed to get together and build a country that it delivered on that promise every time. Every time. Sometimes it took longer, sometimes it was immediate. But that promise was always delivered. And this is why I think there's a clock ticking on top of Khamenei's head. And he knows that. And that's why by the way, he just came out of his hole. I don't know if you guys noticed that. And he went back into his hole. Did you guys see that? Yeah, Jewish Samantha is saying Israelis have a secret. We have no other place to go. I mean, there's many reasons. Let me tell you something, Jewish Samantha, and I'm going to admit something. I'm going to admit something to you. I, as an Iranian, I am jealous. And I hope you're proud. I hope if you're Israeli, I hope you're proud. You should be proud. I'm jealous, and I want for Iran what you have. Because as an Iranian, we have the opposite of what you have. You have a government and an army and an intelligence operation that does more than anyone else to protect you against all the threats against you. We in Iran, we have a government that is actually the main enemy of the people. We used to have what you had, and we lost it. We lost it to the sickness of Islam and leftism. And now we're trying to fight to get that back. But you have that, and I hope that what you have is what I wish for my country one day. I hope we have that. I hope that one day we Iranians get to have a government that protects us Iranians the way that your government protects you. I really hope that you spend a lot of your energy. I know Israel has a culture of criticism, and that's what makes you stronger. Like you guys actually do fight a lot and disagree a lot, and that's good. That's actually why liberalism works on your country, because you keep criticizing each other. That's good. But I hope when it comes to fighting your enemies, you stand united and you put your infighting aside and you stand, behind whatever government is in power against your enemies. Like, don't let the infighting turn into this leftist Islamist disease that took down my country. Yeah, also Amir is here. Amir saying, don't forget to like the stream. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so by the way, Jewish Samantha was saying, I'm going to go over some recent things that happened. I'm going to pay attention to the chat. By the way, guys, we also appreciate super chats here on this channel. If we do get any super chats, I will read them. Jewish Samantha was saying yesterday you meant Ejei. Yeah, Ejei is basically the head of the judiciary branch in Iran, but that's not why he's important. Ejei is important because he is uh, Khamenei. He's very loyal to Khamenei, and he has never been a threat to him. That's the main reason why he's important. So taking him out is by Mossad or IDF would be very much appreciated. But more important than Ejei is Mushtaba Khamenei. So the main person that we want to see taken out is Khamenei, Ali Khamenei himself. But this second most important person that Israel taking out would be crucial, would be very crucial for Israel to take out, is Ali Khamenei's son, which is Mushtaba Khamenei, because um, he's the only person that has the political capital and also the IRGC connection to be able to maybe be a potential vacuum filler if Khamenei dies. So he needs to be neutralized as well. Mujtaba Khamenei. He's the most important person after Ali Khamenei to be taken out. So remember that. Yeah, Mujtaba Khamenei. Yes, Jewish Samantha. Fantastic. Yeah. I don't think anyone else, Rouhani, Hassan Khomeini, Ejei, any of the remaining 40 IRGC commanders, then none of them are going to be able to fill the vacuum that if you take out Khomeini, none of them will be able to hold everything together, except maybe Mujtaba, even a little bit, right? So basically, taking out Khomeini is almost, I mean, it's very likely that that would be the end of the regime. Oh, you didn't? You seen it? Said you didn't get notification? Really, guys? When you hit the notification bell, do you select all? Yasina saying, "Damn it! Just noticed you were on. I didn't get notification." Really? So when you hit the bell notification, make sure you also go select all. That was a very good question, Jewish Samantha. Yeah. Also, we got another comment here saying aeroplanes fly high, saying they better remove Khamenei for real this time. Hope that Trump won't intervene in this plan. Yeah, this is so. Right now, I mean, tomorrow, Netanyahu is going to go to Washington D.C., and that's going to be a key discussion there. Okay, so let me tell you what I would do if I was Netanyahu and I was talking to Trump. Okay, first of all, you should not tell Trump that the Fardo attack was maybe not unsuccessful. Okay, you basically have to tell Trump that that was the best attack ever in the history of bombings. No bombing has ever been any like this. This was just the best. Okay, nobody has ever bombed anywhere more completely and more beautifully and more bigly than what you did in Fardo, Trump. You know, there is no more Fardo. You completely neutralize it, and not there's nothing left of Fardo. Okay, if you suggest anything other than that, Trump will turn against you, and then there's going to be you can't ask him for anything else. Okay, so the good thing is that Trump, even though he wants to say that I completely ended Fardo and there's nothing there anymore, which by the way we don't know, like it's hard to assess right now. But let's just give him that, just so that we don't get on his bad side. Uh, but the good thing is that Trump said that like, if they try to do enrichment of uranium somewhere else, not Fardo, because there is no Fardo. Okay, Fardo is gone. You erased it. Okay, Trump. But if they do it somewhere else, then he's going to go back in and bomb the bejesus out of them. So he's going to get aggressive again. All right. So Netanyahu should not say that, oh, Fardo could be utilized again. But the good thing is that the regime is signaling that they're not going to abandon enrichment of uranium, and they also have other sites that they're going to continue enrichment of uranium. By the way, a lot of you might ask, why the fuck are they doing that? I mean, that's a very good question. Right now, we, the people who want the regime to fall, we hope, we hope that they continue enriching uranium because we want the regime to fall. Here's the thing: everybody in the world should realize that the only way to stop enrichment of uranium by the Islamic Republic is regime change. No amount of bombing is going to stop the Islamic Republic from enrichment of uranium. And I want them to the Islamic Republic to brag about that and openly advertise that they're doing that, because that's going to bring the end of the regime faster. So I hope that they continue to enrich uranium, and I hope that they brag to the whole world about it. And you might ask them, why are they doing that? Like, isn't that going to make them? Isn't that going to make it more likely for foreign forces to come and topple the regime? Isn't that idiotic? And again, it is idiotic if you don't understand the internal politics of the Islamic Republic. This is why you need to be subscribed to this channel, because I explain these things to you here. The problem is that if they bend the knee, if they bend over for Trump and surrender, then the hardliners are going to eat the Islamic Republic alive from inside. They're going to get toppled even faster than Israel that Israel or the people get it. Like, neither Israel or America or the Iranian people are going to even get a chance to topple the regime, because the hardliners are going to do that for them. And that's the main threat to the Islamic Republic. So even though they really, 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 really want to negotiate with Trump and give him all that he wants right now for their own survival, they can't, because after the beautiful attacks by Israel, after all of this masterful attacks by Israel, the hardliners are pissed and they don't want to surrender, and they're pressuring. Like, the environment is not at all in Iran. The environment is not at all an environment where the Islamic Republic could come and say, like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to go back to the table. It's gonna look weak. So thankfully, I'm actually pro hardliners in Iran right now, because they're working on like, they're helping us. They're helping the anti-regime people by all the senses. Like, these are the signals that they're giving out. First of all, no surrender to Trump, continued promises of annihilating Israel, and they're asking for more war because they think the second round they're going to completely erase Israel. Uh, no more cooperation with the Atomic Agency, IACA, and Grossi, the guy. Like, they even promised that if he comes back to Iran, they're gonna hang him. By the way, this is what they say, but behind the scenes, they are telling the Americans that, you know what, actually we'll negotiate with you, because but to their own followers and to international media are like, yeah, fuck that, we're not talking to them anymore. But then behind the scenes, they're like, yeah, actually, can we please talk? And what are they going to talk about now? Because they have no cards to play. Like, they have zero cards to play. This is not going to be negotiations. If they talk to Trump, it's going to just be the terms of surrender. And I hope Trump, as if Trump, because Trump really wants to talk to these people still, and I hope that Trump says, like, yeah, listen, you have no cards to play. So if you want to talk to me right now, you have to give me everything, not just enrichment. You also have to get rid of this Khamenei dude, like, all of that, everything. Um, and they also are signaling that they're going to continue enrichment of uranium. Oh, let me see. We got a super chat by Ginga. Ginga saying, isn't it frowned upon to delete a religious leader? Frowned upon by who? Frowned upon by who? I mean, who cares? like the religious leader, like the religious leader is promising the annihilation of Israel. So like, oh yeah, okay, you want to annihilate us? How about we annihilate you first? And some people are like, you shouldn't have done that. That guy was religious. Who gives a shit? Like, I'm sure I'm sure Israel will survive. I mean, Israel has survived people frowning upon its actions since its foundation. Okay. Like Israel is gonna be fine. Let people frown upon it. Like what has frowning upon, like, since October 7th, people have been frowning very very hard, and Israel has just has gone through eliminating the its enemies in really impressive ways, one after another, and none of these frownings have managed to stop Israel. So yeah, let them frown. Let them frown. I mean, I'm sure as Jews, you're pretty used to the world frowning against you. So like, yeah, like let them frown so hard their faces fall off. Like, yeah, how what has that achieved? It's for the enemies of Israel. I mean, that's all they could do. They're so pathetically The enemies of Israel are so pathetically weak that frowning is all that they could do. I mean, yeah, somebody's saying thrive on frowns. Actually, you're right. One reason why Israel is so strong is because of all the hatred that it gets, and it just made it stronger. Eric is saying, I feel so frowned at. It hurts so much. Eric, that was good. Yeah. Religious leader. Oh, I mean, saying Midnight Hammer was so good, Thor would be proud. Oh yeah. That's good. Yes, that those operations were amazing. So let me. By the way, guys, thank you for the super chats. I will read super chats if we get more. So let me actually read. As I mentioned, Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu is scheduled to visit Washington D.C. for a meeting with Donald Trump. The official agenda for the meeting includes discussions on Gaza, ending the war post October 7th, the Abrahamic Accords, and the Middle East Marshall Plan. However, a significant portion of the conversation will be dedicated to Iran. By the way, I'm so happy to see the Abrahamic Accords coming back, because the anti-Israelis in the chat usually come and tell me like, "Oh, Armin, you're supporting Israel, but the whole world is turning against Israel." Meanwhile, the Arab countries in the region are lining up to get back into the Abrahamic Accord. I mean, the countries that matter the most, which are the countries around Israel, are desperately trying to get close to Israel. By the way, do you guys know why the Arab countries in the region are so desperate now to get back to the Abrahamic Accord? Because before October 7th, many Arab countries were slowly moving towards having normalizing relationship with Israel. After October 7th, they wanted to delay it a little bit, but it showed some signals that, okay, we're going to delay this for now, but we will get back to it soon. Then the war between Israel and Gaza and Hezbollah and the Islamic Republic took so long that some Arab countries, like Saudi Arabia especially, was getting annoyed about how long these attacks are taking, and it didn't like the instability in the region, so they were moving away a little bit from Israel. But then, when the 12-day war started, and Israel, basically the operations that Israel did in Iran were so magnificent, were so like, it looked like Hollywood. It was like crazy. It was so intense and so precise, and Israel so masterfully advertised its military superiority beyond what anybody could imagine. And all of these Arab countries realized, like, came to the conclusion, like, yeah, okay, this is the ultimate power in this region is Israel. I mean, this is our god now. This is the whole Middle East belongs to Israel, apparently. Okay, like the way that they have control over the skies of Iran, because they were worried. Because here's what the Arab countries were worried about. The Arab countries were worried that if a conflict between the Islamic Republic and Israel starts, it would be so intense that it will start chaos in the entire Middle East. But then during the 12-day war, everybody saw how how Israel humiliated the Islamic Republic, and how easy it was for Israel to just do what it needs to without actually causing the amount of conflict that everybody predicted. So they're like, okay, Team Israel all the way. So the Abrahamic Accords, and again, the unimaginable happened. Syria, with a former Al Qaeda leader, is now trying to normalize relationship with Israel and is trying to jump into the Abrahamic Accord. This is we live in strange times, strange times. Because but the reason but all of this is because of Israel's superiority. Everybody wants to be on the winning side, and Israel is winning so hard that all of these Arab countries are like, yep, like we're switching sides completely. And it must be so humiliating, and to the axis of resistance. All of these pro-Palestine people, they thought that they're making Israel weaker with their chanting in the streets. And then after all of these chanting, Israel comes and demonstrates how strong it is, and none of your anger, none of your chants, none of your protests against Israel did anything to weaken Israel. I mean, these people who thought that they're turning the world against Israel and this is going to make Israel weaker, and they didn't realize that that's actually why Israel is strong. Oh, we got a super chat by Shira B saying we're white occupiers and war criminals. We're white occupiers and war criminals. Can't come. Can't come? Yes. Shame on you, Shira. Yeah, half of Israel actually came from the Middle East. More than half, actually, right? So half of the Jews in Israel came from the Middle East, and the other half came from Europe. But then, if you conclude, if you add the 20% Arab population of Israel, then that would mean that more than half of Israel came from the Middle East. Amir is saying that is correct. So yeah, more than half. So if we say 20% is Arab that came from the Middle East, and then 80% is Jewish, so 40% is Jews that came from Europe, and 40% is Jews that came from the Middle East. That 40% with the 20% Arab, that would make it, 60% from the Middle East and 40% from Europe. And actually, after a couple of decades, most Israelis are now mixed anyway. By the way, guys, don't forget to like the show. Make sure you like the show. Okay. So the Islamic Republic is in a very weak situation right now. Khamenei was hiding. He just came out of his hole, and guys, I shit you not, their songs and their chants were completely different. They switched. So right now in Iran is Muharram. This is close to the time. This is the annual event to remember Hussein's death in Karbala. So it's a very, very extremely religious month according to the Islamic calendar. And this is a time of the Islamic calendar where the Shias go out of their freaking way to be Islamic and do basically Islamic shit. And but when Khamenei came out of his hole, a surprise visit, and in his to meet to, and there was like his people were there. Yeah, I don't know if you want to see the video. Should I play the? Should I show you the video? The hold on, let me actually read this for you. When Khamenei reappeared in public after hiding for some time, the songs that were performed by his supporters, the lyrics of these songs were filled with nationalistic themes, with words like homeland, Iran, national pride, and historical glory. Do you guys understand? Like people who follow me for a while, do you understand the significance of that? Oh, play the video. People are saying play the video. Okay, before I play the video, can you please let me tell me why is that weird? Because a lot of people here don't understand why that's weird. Like obviously nationalistic songs is supposed to be normal from the government, right? Let me read the explanation for you guys. This was strange coming from the Islamic Republic, which has always been cautious or even hostile towards Iranian nationalism. For years, the regime has portrayed nationalism as an ignorant arrogance or distraction from Islam. But now, when the regime is desperate to maintain its legitimacy, it's suddenly using those same nationalistic themes to rally support. This contradiction reveals how weak and panicked the regime has become. It's even resorting to the very ideas it once tried to suppress. So let me actually tell you, this is what they always do. They usually, so in Iran, you have people who have nationalistic tendencies and then people who have Islamic tendencies, okay? And they usually at odds with each other. I mean, there are so many gray areas in betweens, but if I want to simplify it, that's how it works, okay? It's basically Iran versus Islam. And there are some people who consider themselves patriotic and nationalists. They're on Iran's side, and the people who are very religious and pro the Islamic Republic, they consider themselves to be on Islam's side. So they consider the people who are their compatriots are all Shia Muslims, regardless of their nationality. They don't even recognize Iran's borders. They're trying to create a Shia empire. So, for example, a liberal secular Iranian, they don't consider them that as their fellow, I don't know, uh, countrymen or whatever. If an Arab Shia an Arab Shia who is loyal to Khamenei in Iraq is more on their team than an Iranian secular liberal who is inside Iran. Their allegiances are based on religion, not nationality, right? However, the Islamic Republic, because most Iranians are very patriotic and have very nationalistic tendencies, every time the Islamic Republic feels a little bit, it feels like it's in danger, all of a sudden they start using nationalistic slogans and songs because they need to use that force. So this is why when Israel is attacking the Islamic Republic, all of a sudden they know that the Iranians might actually do an uprising and turn against the regime. So they try to desperately get the Iranian people back on their side and say like, oh, Iran and the Islamic Republic is on one side. So right now in Iran, there are a lot of Iranians who are fighting. The other Iranians who are kind of suggesting like, oh, Iran and Islamic Republic is against Israel. And no, those many Iranians are arguing online. No, they're like, no, it's Iran and Israel on one side against the Islamic Republic. So, but the Islamic Republic is really desperately trying to create some unity with some people at least against Israel by pretending that they care about Iran. So let me actually show you Khamenei coming out of his hole and look at the songs that they're playing. Look, look at this. Like Iran, like he's saying Iran. This is so weird. Like you have no idea because people who wear black, like during Muharram, they wear black like this, and they come and do these ceremonies, which we call madahi. Like they don't go Iran. They don't say Iran, Iran. It's always like Islam, Ali, Hussein, Fatima, and all these fucking people. But now it's like, oh, Iran. What the fuck? Like this is weird to hear it from these types of people.
ایران خدای اینو خدا آقا جانم فرمودم گفت اگه خسته نمیشی بخون.
So he's saying that Khamenei, which is sitting in the corner, you're going to see him right now. He said he came and asked me to sing this song. He himself asked me. They're trying to show that Khamenei has nationalistic views, which is bizarre because Khamenei in his speeches has spoken against nationalistic symbols.
ما واسه شما میمیریم آقا جان.
Look at this. He's like Khamenei. He's saying, "Oh, that's him." Okay, he said Khamenei asked me to sing this song if I'm not tired. They're like, "Oh, why would he even say that, sir? I will die for you if I have to." And Khamenei is holding his head like that. Look at them. They're so, you know, they're not in a very good emotional state right now. Oh, by the way, I saw we got 2 super chats. I will respond to those super chats soon.
به علی قسم نامردا دروغ میگن ما جانم مال شماست.
Oh my god! Like my life is for you.
ای میهن خدای
Look at that.
ایران کربلای
You have no idea how weird this is for me to hear this from him. Iran Karbala'i.
ایران ذوالفقار
Unbelievable.
ایران عاشورایی ای میهن خدای ایران کربلای.
So he's mixing religious symbolism with nationalistic symbolism. Saying Iran Karbala'i, Iran Ashura'i. So Karbala, Ashura, Hosseini, these are Shia religious symbols. And he's saying Iran, he's mixing it with Iran. So he's trying to create this Milli Mazhabi union of nationalism and Islamism, which they don't go together. They don't go together at all. Let me see. Actually, we got 2 super chats. Graham is saying, you're going to cover Tucker's latest interview. I mean, he's talking to Pezeshkian. Do you guys understand Pezeshkian? The president in Iran is basically a nobody. Like, I hope people in this chat understand that. Do you guys understand that, right? Like, you guys are informed about Iran politics to know that the president in Iran has zero, and I'm not exaggerating, zero powers. Like actually, maybe zero is too much. It's actually negative powers. He does actually have negative powers. It's more of a burden than yeah. Being a president is basically makes you the scapegoat for whatever problems the regime is having. So it doesn't have zero powers. Actually, being the president has negative powers in Iran. So Astro is saying he's just a mouthpiece. It's actually lower than a mouthpiece because a mouthpiece is supposed to be in line with the rest of the regime, but he's actually worse. They give him some of the things that they don't want to say, so that if when things go wrong, they could blame the president. It's complicated. But yeah, Tucker Carlson is such a shit. I mean, guys, every time you mention Tucker's mentioned, never forget that this idiot, his understanding of international politics was so low that he suggested that if United States starts helping Israel in a war against the Islamic Republic, they will lose that war because the Islamic Republic is a member of BRICS. And he thought that would mean that a World War III will start and the United States would lose that war. Never forget that this is this man's understanding of international politics. He thought countries like China or Russia or Brazil and India, BRICS, what the fuck is going to happen? Like, I mean, I should find you the video of Putin when they went and asked him about the whole Islamic Republic Israel situation. Putin came out and reminded everybody that many Israelis are Russian speaking people. So he basically reminded everyone that the ties between Russia and Israel, which was such a big fuck you to the Islamic Republic. But I mean, a lot of people thought like Russia is supposed to be this main ally of the Islamic Republic, and that was Putin's response. So just never forget that that was Tucker's analysis. That they will basically be bombing the Arab countries around the Persian Gulf, and they will all be paying a huge price. We saw what the Islamic Republic did in Qatar. It was all just a paper target. Oh, somebody in the chat is saying same with China. China is China obviously cares more about its alliance with the Arab countries around the Persian Gulf and Israel way more than anything that it gets from working with the Islamic Republic. The only thing China gets from the Islamic Republic is cheap oil. And obviously its connection to other Arab countries around that region is way more important to it. So yeah, Tucker is an idiot. Like his is so unbelievable how ill informed that person is. Somebody Seth, thank you so much for the super chat saying Armin 2000 Islamic Republic defections to Rizal are credible. I don't know. I mean 20,000. I don't know how to evaluate that. I wouldn't be surprised, but 20,000 is not a big enough number. It's a good start, so I don't know if it's credible, but if it is true, I wouldn't be surprised because there are so many people against the Islamic Republic, and Reza Pahlavi has so much support that it's easy to get 20,000. It's so easy. So it's 20,000 is a number that is easy for me to believe. Like I'm like if I had to guess, would it get that high very fast? Like yeah, I mean, especially from the Artesh. Maybe not that many people within the IRGC, but within the Artesh, there's plenty. There's probably way more than that. Many more than that. Like there are, within the Artesh in Iran, there's probably way more people that are that would be that it would be a dream come true for them to serve under the Pahlavi instead of the Islamic Republic. Oh, we got another super chat. Thank you, guys. Ginga saying, then why does China try to discredit Israel with TikTok? China benefits from. Wait, discredit? Okay, so China is not actively using TikTok. So TikTok is a very powerful tool to cause division in Western countries. Okay. So it's not like they're pushing a specific narrative, they're just pushing division. Right. So there we go. Let me actually go to some more important points. Okay. Okay. One possible scenario discussed is the need for further attacks on the Islamic Republic if the regime retains uranium or attempts to resume its nuclear program. So this is key. This is what I was saying. When Netanyahu tomorrow meets with Trump, he needs to remind him that other than Fordo, there are other places where the Islamic Republic has enrichment of uranium, and they are openly signaling that they're going to continue to enrich uranium. And here's the key thing that Netanyahu needs to be telling Trump, that you don't even need to enter. Okay? Israel should signal to Trump that they are not, now that the Fordo attack is done. That was beautiful. that's over, and that's all America needed to do. And Israel is not seeking U.S. involvement anymore. That's what Israel should say, because that's what Trump would like to hear. So, reminding Trump that the regime is continuing its enrichment of uranium in other places. So something needs to be done, but don't worry, not by America. Just let us do it, our job. Basically, Israel should be asking Trump that, first of all, telling Trump that you did everything possible to bring peace. You gave the Islamic Republic many, many, many chances for them to come to the table and be serious about peace and ending their nuclear program. And every so if a war starts right now between Israel and the Islamic Republic, nobody can blame you, Trump, for war, because you gave them a way out multiple times. And now that they have proven that these are not people that will see reason, and that they have proven that negotiation with these people is going nowhere, let Israel just finish the job by taking out Khamenei without U.S. involvement. Oh, Elad, thank you so much for the super chat. Elad is saying Tucker is not ignorant. He works for Qatar. I mean, the results are the same. Yeah. But yeah, sure. Maybe you're right. Why not both? Why not both? But actually, it could be both. Because if I wanted to make arguments in defense of uh, against Israel, I wouldn't be making an argument as idiotic as, if you attack the Islamic Republic, World War III would start, because the Islamic Republic is a member of BRICS. By the way, for people who don't know, BRICS is an economic union. It's not like NATO. It's not. There was no military commitment. So he could be. That's both. Like, if I wanted to be anti-Israeli, I would be making better arguments than Tucker Carlson. So he is both. Like, he might be working for Qatar, but he's definitely an idiot. Yeah, Heavy Gretel saying Tucker doesn't actually believe in anything. The only thing he believes in is making money. I mean, he's good at it. I mean, actually, usually you can't be sure, but there is audio of Tucker actually admitting that. Some really old audio of him admitting that. So you could be right. So here's a major signal that it seems like many people from both the Republicans and Democrats are coming to the conclusion that, given that Americans have no appetite for United States entering a war, but given how big of an opportunity it is right now to just get rid of the Islamic Republic, and this opportunity should not be wasted, the only solution is to just empower Israel as much as possible to just finish the job. And a major signal that this seems to be the dominant narrative right now among politicians in the United States was this bipartisan bill that has been, and it's bipartisan. That's how amazing this is. That has been proposed in the U.S. Congress that would allow President Trump to transfer B-2 bombers and bunker buster bombs to Israel if the Islamic Republic continues its nuclear ambitions. Basically, it seems like everybody is realizing that there is no United States politically doesn't have the political capital to go and finish the job with the Islamic Republic, but it would be a major disaster. It would be such a waste if the Islamic Republic came this close to falling, and then the world did nothing about it to make it actually fall. So the only solution is to just give Israel everything that it possibly could need to just end the job for them. If that's what they're coming to, that's great. And again, ending the job requires taking out Khamenei. I mean, do you guys understand how major of a red line it is to talking about giving B-2 bombers just uh, for United States? This was this asset, the B-2 bombers, are like talking about giving that to another country is unheard of. It's unheard of. Not even to Israel. Like United States would never consider giving their B-2 bombers, not even to Israel. But now they're talking about it, which shows that there seems to be an understanding that they shouldn't let this go to waste. What the hell? So thank you, Nail Bunny. Thank you for the super chat saying Winston Marshall interviewing Mahir Tusi today suggested that King Reza should go to Iran now. Now? Who is this guy? Are you sure? Such a stupid. That's such an idiotic take. Are you sure that that's what he said? He's 65. Is that fair criticism? What do you think? Like, is he trying to kill Reza Pahlavi? That would they would that would be the end of him. What is he talking about? Reza Pahlavi going to Iran now and get executed? Like, what the hell is this guy talking about? If you're actually really saying, if you're not misrepresenting him and this is actually what he said, he's an idiot. Did Tusi push back on him? Yeah, I'm Nail Bunny. I know that you didn't say that. Like, I know I'm not criticizing you. I'm criticizing him. Like, that's a such an idiotic take. Like, is this man trying to get Reza Pahlavi killed? Why would he do that? Like, what the fuck? I don't understand. Anybody else hear that interview? Like, is that really what he said? And did Tusi push back? Oh, you guys are saying no, he didn't push back. Well, he should have pushed back. Like, oh yeah, let's just walk into like just like just that's an act of suicide. Like, what the fuck? All right. No, please, like, do not. What the hell? You have to wait for the regime to be toppled. Even after the regime is toppled, you have to wait until security situation there is completely stable. So pause with the super chat saying, "I hope people who make decisions are listening." Yeah, actually, yeah. If people who, you're right. You know what? Let me actually brag. If people who make decisions watched our live streams and actually listen to me, things would be a lot better. You guys have seen how many of my predictions have come true, right? You know what? I should actually make a list of some of the predictions I've made and how many of them have came true, uh, so that you know we could do a bragging stream. How about that? Oh, we got another super chat. Thank you so much. Wow, you guys are very generous today. Saying Seymour, Seymour, oh Seymour, Seymour is a l- ancient Persian mythical bird, right? So Seymour the Persian is saying, I heard Reza Pahlavi is in hospital. Is that true? I haven't heard that, and I don't think that is true. You want me to check? He looked he looked well to me. I don't think so. There's no credible reports indicating that Reza Pahlavi is currently hospitalized. So no, nothing. Maybe, I mean, if it's true, I'm not saying it's not true, but if it's true, I haven't. And he looked very healthy. Like he had like every last time he was talking, he looked very healthy and with a lot of energy. So I don't. Where are you getting that from? So I don't think so. I do not think so. Yes, somebody's saying I feel that there's a lot of bullshit following around. Yes, and there's a lot of anti. By the way, guys, just a reminder that anti-Israelis are spreading a lot of anti-Pahlavi propaganda, which is a good way to actually market, to advertise for Reza Pahlavi, because Israelis. This should be a major hint to Israelis. Why is almost everybody who's anti-Israeli also anti-Reza Pahlavi? This should suggest that Reza Pahlavi is a good ally if the enemies of Israel are also enemies of Reza Pahlavi. So let me actually read these. Threats from Trump have reportedly caused confusion and fear within the Iranian regime. There's a belief that the current ceasefire is temporary and that Israel operations could resume with U.S. support. Yes, by the way, guys, I don't know if this is true or not, but most analysts that I follow are suggesting that it's very likely that we are going to see the ceasefire collapse and Israel and Islamic Israel going in back in. So most of the arguments suggest that that is very, very likely. If the Islamic Republic rebuilds atomic sites, uses remaining uranium, mines the Persian Gulf, I want to see them try doing that, or withdraws from the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, both Israel and the U.S. may consider another strike. Uh, Again, Israel should go for the kill this time. Guys, given that we saw that Israel was almost finishing the job before Trump forced the ceasefire and the whole situation, this is why I think next time, if they go in, they should start with Khamenei because they might not get another chance. They shouldn't wait anymore. Despite aggressive rhetoric, the Islamic Republic is showing signs of being open to negotiation. Again, yes, they always do. This is, by the way, guys, if you're looking for signs of for taqiyya, because this is an actual example of taqiyya. So because sometimes some people in the chat they call everything taqiyya, and I'm like, guys, this is like you have to be careful when what you call taqiyya. Okay, not everything is taqiyya. Okay, if you're looking for actual examples of taqiyya, here it is. Okay, when the Islamic Republic comes and says like, "Ah, we will never negotiate. Fuck these motherfuckers. We're going to enrich uranium, and we're not like Trump just came and did this. Obviously, we're not going to negotiate with people who attack us." And then they go behind the scenes and they start like Trump, they beg for another rounds of negotiations. This is an actual example of taqiyya, right? We call it khud'e in Iran. Okay. Like I said, despite aggressive rhetoric, the Islamic Republic is showing signs of being open to negotiation. For example, they haven't expelled the IAEA. Oh, I said IACA last. I'm sorry, IAEA inspectors. We call it Agence in Persian, Agence Atomiye Bein al. President Trump has indicated a desire for the Islamic Republic to become. By the way, this shows that Trump is still thinking. Trump, even after all of this, Trump is still signaling that Iran could become great again under the Islamic Republic. This is why Netanyahu really understands Iran better than Trump, because Netanyahu understands that Iran could never be great under the Islamic Republic. You know, on the Iranian side, on the American side, who understands this Iran perfectly? So Trump's understanding of politics is not very high, right? He's just he's just a very good salesperson, right? But on the American side, the politician that you could trust the most as of right now, with regards to understanding the Middle East and Iran, is Marco Rubio. Like nobody is as good as Marco Rubio in US politics. He's our guy. He's the best. He's the best for Iran and he's the best for Israel. Trump is just good at like talking to people and reading the room and just dominating the conversation, and also he's a good salesperson. But he has no understanding. He sucks at understanding economics, and he doesn't understand world politics. He doesn't even understand how tariffs work. Yeah, but Marco is great. Marco is amazing. Marco, if Marco ever becomes president of the United States, that would be the best thing for Israel and Iran. Oh, Elad gave us a super chat. Thank you so much, Elad. Elad is saying Tucker is crazy. I'll give you that. I mean, dude talks about demons all the time, but he knows what he is doing with the propaganda. I mean, yeah, I mean, the guy, that's why he's making so much money. I do agree with that. Like, when it comes to his self interest, he seems to be doing very well. Yeah, yeah, tariffs are his favorite words, but he doesn't know how they work. So let me tell you how uninformed Trump is, for example, to tariff. So he one thing that Trump was upset about was that why like Walmart and some other stores were increasing prices in response to his tariffs. And he was telling them that they shouldn't be increasing the prices and they should just accept the cost. And the weird thing about that is that the point of the tariffs are for the prices to increase so people buy less of those products. Like, the whole point is for the prices to increase. Like, that's how, if they were supposed to do what they were doing, that's how they end up doing what you're trying to do with the tariffs. And he was upset that the prices were going up. Like, what the hell? Like, that's how they, if they're going to work, this is how they work. Okay, by the way, John, thank you so much for the super chat saying, how can Iran develop nuclear weapons when Iranian clerics, first of all, it's not Iran, it's the Islamic Republic. Please do not refer to the Islamic Republic as Iran. So, but thank you for the super chat. So let me read this properly. How can the Islamic Republic develop nuclear weapons when Iranian clerics have issued fatwas declaring them un-Islamic, and could they even lie about Islamic law? So it's not Iranian clerics. It's just one guy. Khamenei issued a fatwa, and the thing that you have to know about fatwas is that fatwas are not Islam, like part of is like unchangeable part of Islamic law. So this is what many foreigners didn't understand, that they thought like, oh, and if fatwa was issued, so that means it's over. It will always be un-Islamic. But fatwa, you could then do another fatwa and then remove that fatwa. So it's not like a fatwa is not like a revelation from God. It's not like the Quran. It's not like a hadith from Muhammad. You could add a fatwa, and then when it's necessary, then you could issue another fatwa and undo the fatwa that you did. Like, because a lot of foreigners thought that the fatwa is something that like it's not like an unchanging word of God. Also, even if it was like an unchanging word of God, it was like even if it was like the Quranic verse that could not be changed. Uh, One thing that they always have is that when it comes to survival, everything is allowed, right? So, for example, the Quran makes eating pigs haram, but if you're starving, and you might die if you don't eat in Islam, then you could eat a pig. Islam allows you to eat pig meat if you're dying and there's no other food to eat. There's no other food to eat. Okay, so even a revelation from God, it has this exceptions if it's about survival. A fatwa, which is so much lower than a revelation from God, because not eating pigs, like eating pigs being haram, is a revelation from God. So a fatwa, which is so much lower than a revelation from God, obviously the clerics would argue, yes, it's haram. It's like for us to use an atomic bomb, but if our survival is at risk, then everything is allowed. So there's always a way out. Sorry. Did I answer your question, John? Was that clear? Was that a satisfying answer? Guys, did everybody understand what I'm saying? Like, this is very important for people to understand. Let me drink some anti-cough syrup. Still recovering. Yes, everybody understood what I just said? It's really important for you to understand what I said, because this is something that a lot of people get wrong. Joseph's saying, you made 0 sense. I think Joseph is butthurt. Hey, Roy is here. Roy is in the house. Hey, guys, everybody else. Okay, other people said yes, 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 they understood. Okay. Okay, so Joseph, if you didn't understand, you're either butthurt or you're not very smart. Oh, crypto with another super chat. Crypto is saying, hold on, let me bring it here. Crypto is saying in 1935, Reza Shah Pahlavi renamed Persia to Iran, emphasizing its Aryan heritage in an effort to align with Nazi Germany's ideology. Actually, that's so funny. No, Crypto, you're another idiotic take from Crypto. First of all, changing the name of Persia to Iran was only for foreigners. This is such an idiotic take by foreigners who don't know that Iran was Iran to Iranians all this time. So he didn't change the name of Iran inside Iran. He just changed the name of Iran for foreigners who were referring to Iran something that different than Iranians themselves. Iranians themselves refer to Iran all the time. So this is how you're wrong in 3 different ways. It was just telling why are these foreigners. So the name Persia is a foreign name, is a Greek name for it's an imperialist name by foreigners forced upon Iran, but Iranians refer to themselves as Iran. So basically, Reza Shah was just telling it had nothing to do with being aligned with the Nazis. Reza Shah made it clear that he's not aligned with the Nazis. During World War II, he took a neutral position. He made it clear to the world that we're not taking sides because he didn't want to bring war to Iran. So how is it that Reza Shah was taking the Nazi side when he was during World War II? He made sure that the world understands that Iran is neutral. So get your facts right about history. And again, so that's the reason. Number 1 reason why you're wrong. Number 2 is that he didn't change the name. Iran was always Iran to Iranians. Foreigners were referring to it by the wrong name. So that's number 2 reason why you're wrong. Number 3 reason why you're wrong is that Aryan doesn't actually mean what you think it means. So Iran means the land of Aryans. My name, actually, Armin, means the guardian of the Aryan land, right? And the reason why you think Aryan is a dirty word is because of Nazis. They use that word in a way that has a different meaning among Iranians inside Iran. You know the symbol for the Nazis, the swastika? Let me give you an example for everybody so that you understand, okay? Because a lot of people don't understand what Aryan means. You know, my brother's name is Aryan. Let me actually explain this to you, okay? So, you know the symbol, the swastika? You know, if you actually do the mirror image of that, if you go to Thailand or if you go to Cambodia, if you go to Vietnam, you're going to see that symbol in temples everywhere. And nobody's going to be like, oh my God, these people are racist. These people are evil, because they understand that Nazis, they took the symbol and they turned it into something else. That symbol originally, like in Japan, yeah, that symbol actually doesn't represent something evil. But the Nazis corrupted that symbol and turned it into something else. In the same way, the word Aryan, in Iran, it refers to a language and and a set of cultures, set of values. So it has nothing to do with blood or DNA. That's the, it's so funny because Westerners took this Iranian concept and they turned it into something evil. And now they're blaming Iranians for using that word. I mean, like, it was the Germans who turned it into something evil. Why are you blaming Iranians for using that word? And also, another thing is that this move by Reza Shah was actually an anti-racist move, because so people be like, oh, you use the word Iran instead of Persia, that must mean that you're a Nazi. It's actually the opposite of a Nazi take, because using the word Persia for Iran ignores the diverse ethnicities of Iran, because Persia is the wrong name for Iran, because only half of Iranians are Persians. So by referring to Iran as Persia, you're ignoring the other half, which is Gilaki, Azeri, Turkmen, Kurd, Bakhtiari, Lor, Baluchi, and many other ethnicities. So by actually referring to Iran as Iran instead of Persia, you're using an inclusive name that doesn't ignore all these other ethnicities. How is that Nazi? Is it Nazi to be inclusive? Is Persia for Iran that would be an basically only racial supremacist? Iran is an inclusive name. Persia is basically trying to turn in the identity of the entire country to just one ethnicity. How is that Nazi? That's the opposite of Nazi. It's very interesting that people try to accuse Reza Shah of being Nazi-like, but during the time of Reza Shah, Iran was a refuge for Jewish people trying to flee Nazi Germany. Iran was protecting Jews at that time, which maybe I should do a live stream about. In fact, Reza Shah was trying to make sure, like, so there was some cooperation with Reza Shah and Germans when it comes to industry, but not war. But that was because the British were trying to dominate Iran, and Reza Shah wanted to make sure that it had leverage over everybody, like it has basically not too dependent on one side. So it was trying to have both British industry and German industry, so nobody could basically have complete control over him. He was trying to both sides so that he doesn't get played by one side, and we could see that his concerns were legitimate. This had nothing to do with being pro-Nazi. This was about survival of Iran. And when the Germans came to Iran for different reasons, Reza Shah made it clear that hands off Iranian Jews. He made it clear that when the Germans came to Iran, they had also radio stations and they were trying to spread their Nazi propaganda. And Reza Shah made it very clear that Iranian Jews are off limits for you guys. Like, hands off our Jews. Yeah, so that's not very Nazi-like, is it? Oh, this is such another take. Crypto Fanatics is saying, how can Iran, with the strongest anti-Jewish government, host the largest Jewish community of any Islamic country? First of all, the largest Jewish community compared to when? Because Iran had so many Jews that when the Islamic Republic turned anti-Jewish, so many Jews left Iran, but it started with such a big number that even though so many Jews, like, you have to look at the trend. You have to look where we were and where we are right now. This shows how big of a number we started with. But Don't look at the total number now. Look how compare it to where it was before. You have to ask yourself, if the Islamic Republic is not anti-Jewish, then why did so many Jews ran away? Why is that number as big as it is today? Why is it so much smaller compared to what it was before? Why did so many Jews flee? So you look at the number now, you don't actually look at the trend. I love how good I am at answering these. I'm actually impressed with myself. And it doesn't host them. It's still incredibly aggressive towards them. After the 12-day war, the Islamic Republic went and arrested so many Jews just because they were Jewish, because they were so angry with Israel, and they could only take revenge of the Jewish people in Iran. So they're going after the Baha'i and Jewish community right now as we speak in Iran. Man, I'm so good at answering these. Somebody should hire me for this. Okay, so Elad is saying Hossein Sardari was a diplomat under the Shah of Iran and is known as the Iranian. Yes, that's the one. That's the live stream. I want to do a live stream on this guy. I forget his name all the time. Yes, and he's known as the Iranian Schindler because he saved the lives of many Jews during World War II. Yes, and he was official of the government. He had somehow he came about a lot of empty passports. So he was, I think he a diplomat in the French embassy of Iran. Was that, if I remember correctly? I have to go look at the details. And he was basically using all these empty passports to. At first, he started trying to get Iranian Jews out from France back to Iran to save them. And this was under the Pahlavi dynasty, by the way. And then when he managed to finish with all the Iranian Jews, he started with Jews who were not even Iranian, and he started giving them the passports, making them fake passports so that he could get them back into Iran. And then they asked him at some point that why was he risking everything? Why was he trying to get all these Jews to come here to Iran? And his answer was because they were Iranian. And they said, and then they asked him, yeah, but once you were done with the Iranian Jews, you continued with these other Jews who were not Iranian. Why did you did this with them? And he said, because they were human. That was his answer. Yeah, very Nazi like. You can see how the government of the Pahlavi, how Nazi like they were. Such a fucking bullshit take, man. It's so embarrassing to be anti-Israel or anti-Pahlavi because it's just so easy to destroy those opinions against Pahlavi and against Israel. Wow, we got so many super chats today. By the way, thank you for the super chat. Let me see. Did I unstar one by mistake? Let me unstar these ones. Let me see. Crypto. Yeah, I already responded to that. Thank you, Elad, for the super chat. Bar is saying if the Iran saved Jews during World War II, the Iran? You mean Iran? If Iran saved Jews during World War II, which we know is true, it means they took the side of the Allies and not the Nazis. So not so neutral. They didn't take the side of the Allies or the Nazis. Saving the Jews was not a pro-ally position. It was a pro-human position, and it was a pro-Iran position because these were Iranian Jews. This was not because they were on the side of the Allies. Reza Shah correctly recognized that he shouldn't be taking any sides because Iran could not have tolerated could not have survived entering this world war. So they were saving the Jews because it was the right thing to do, not because they were pro or anti any of the sides. But thank you for the super chat, Bar. I appreciate that. Ginga is saying protecting Jews like Trump is being a literal Nazi. Okay. Oh, you're making fun of that take. Okay. Protecting Jews, like I don't understand what you're saying here. Protecting okay, you're making fun of people who say that Trump is being a literal Nazi. Yes, that is a dumb take. I agree with that. Duran, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Oh, and also we got it. Wow, that's a very generous super chat. Thank you so much. Great Red Menace is saying, Armin, while I appreciate the Islamic Republic is way worse than the Shah, surely you must recognize uh, repression did exist under the Pahlavis, and it's best to be better. It's best to better that if they return, they shouldn't do the same. What repression are you talking about under Pahlavis? Which Pahlavi? And also, so here's the thing: you have to put it into the context of the time. So if you talk about Reza Shah's time, you might have some point, but then you have to look at the time Reza Shah was in and also how the rest of the world look. If you're talking about Muhammad Reza Shah, then repressing people, that is not fair to say that about Muhammad Reza Shah. Not at all. Did Savak sometimes do things that was against the wishes of Muhammad Reza Shah? Yes, but it was not systemic and it was not widespread. And Muhammad Reza Shah did everything in his power to eliminate physical torture. To be fair, he still allowed room for psychological torture. I'm going to be honest here, but he went out of his way to end physical torture in Iran. And what you guys should judge the government by is the trend, not the level that they're at, but where they were before and where they were trying to get. They were trying to reduce that. And Muhammad Reza Shah constantly forgave people that came for his own life. And he was aggressively trying to make Iran more free. And every time he did that, it backfired and he had to tighten the grip a little bit more because he realized that it's not the time. So it's making that argument against Muhammad Reza Shah is very unfair. With regards to Reza Shah, if you make that argument, was he harsher? Was Reza Shah the first Pahlavi king? Was he harsher? Yes, he was a lot harsher, but justifiably so. And for his time, it was necessary because Iran was falling apart. He was dealing with communist and separatist terrorists that were extremely violent and they were tearing apart. Without Reza Shah, there would be no Iran. Without the harshness of Reza Shah at his time, there would be no Iran today to speak of. He saved Iran. He kept the country together. Again, I repeat, Iran would not exist today. And I'm not exaggerating. Iran would not exist today if Reza Shah did not do his thing. So of course, by the way, you say uh, the Pahlavis, they need to do better. They need to do something different. Obviously, Reza Pahlavi, when he becomes king, he's not going to rule like Reza Shah, but it's not better because what Reza Shah did at his time was necessary for him at his time. And obviously, Reza Pahlavi, that's not how he's going to rule. I mean, have you listened to Reza Pahlavi? Have you read his books? The guy is the mildest, most democratic, most peace loving person that you ever meet. He's not going to be like Reza Shah at all. He's but Reza Shah was the right thing for his time, and Reza Pahlavi, the second Reza Shah, is going to be the right person with the right manners for his time. Of course, he's not going to be as harsh as Reza Pahlavi, even though the harshness of Reza Pahlavi was necessary for what he did at his time. Oh, wait, guys, are there any admins in the chat? Somebody is spamming the chat. Okay, I'm gonna admin myself. This guy, ban user. Oops. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. What was he saying? He like Justin was spamming the chat, and Justin, you could have, if you said that, like we could, like, I wouldn't have banned you if you weren't filling the chat with a repetitive comment that so that you could make the chat know, uh, un not useful to everyone else. But let's see what he was saying. He's saying, is someone who has sold out his country, he is nothing more than a liar, and his politics are nothing. I mean, I don't see any arguments there. You could have at least said something for why I'm wrong. But a great red minister, do you what do you think about my answer? Do you understand? Like, if you go look at the history of Iran during Reza Shah's time, everybody wanted a piece of Iran, and it was Reza Shah was dealing with so many enemies from outside and within, and Iran was being torn apart, and these people were terrorists. He had to be harsh. Oh, another thing that is so unfair about Reza Shah. So Muhammad Reza Shah, if you say that he was brutal and harsh, then you have no understanding of the history of Pahlavi. That's unfair. If you talk about Reza Shah, yes, he was harsh, but compare that to the rest of the fucking world. Reza Shah was a saint. Like it's so amazing how sometimes Westerners come and say like, "Oh, look at Reza Shah. He was like so harsh." While Europe was dealing with Nazi fucking Germany, like you were dealing with the Holocaust and gulags. We were dealing with Stalin and Hitler and Mussolini, and imperialist Japan was actually worse than all, like one of some of the worst crimes that were being done by the imperialist Japanese. And 85% of the world was under the most evil tyrannical rulers doing the most evil, heinous things. And at that time, Reza Shah was ruling over Iran. And if you compared Reza Shah to them, it looked like absolute democracy. Like that guy looked like a saint compared to everything else that was going around the world. So it's so amazing that now, today, with the standards that we have today, you're sitting back and you're judging Reza Shah, and you're like, oh, that was too harsh. Like Hitler was in power, Stalin was in power. Like, are you kidding me? Compare him to everyone, like the rulers of Europe. He was so ahead of his time. He was, compared to them, he was so progressive and he was so tolerant. Like, did he, like, did Reza Shah never killed Iranians in the way that Hitler was killing Germans because they were Jewish or gay um or handicapped? He, like, the way Stalin was killing Russians and Hitler was killing Germans and Japanese people were killing themselves. Like Reza Shah never turned against his people like that. He was so, compared to them, he was so kind to his people. He was. It's an insane weight. It's so crazy to judge Reza Shah in the based on the modern standards that we have, because the standards that we have is based on the framework that did not exist at that time. I mean, Reza Shah in the Middle East, that is supposed to be the wildest place in the world, he was being so much more civil to his people than the Europeans were. Anyways, Mike, did you guys understood everything? So I want to make sure that people on this channel, they're educated and they understand these things better than, because guys, the reason it's important for us to defend Pahlavi. Defending Pahlavi today is defending Israel. Let me make this clear. Israelis, take note, okay? Because Pahlavi is the key to solving the problems in the Middle East, and it's also the key to removing the threat to Israel. So defending Pahlavi is defending Israel today. Michael saying, if Iran was neutral in World War II, why did they allow Anders Polish army to train in Iran, then allow them to cross Iranian territory to join Brits in Egypt for invasion of Italy. Okay, so allow is doing a lot of work here. If you're talking about the allies, they weren't waiting for the permission of Reza Shah to be able to do their operations in Iran. It was at that point these things were being forced. Like, do you understand that Reza Shah basically managed to save Iran from completely being destroyed, but he didn't manage, like, only his son eventually managed to make Iran stronger for it to have a strong military. Reza Shah just saved Iran from absolute collapsing. You're talking about a country that was at the verge of complete annihilation, and then you thought, like, and then the other countries that you're mentioning are the world's superpowers at the time. So a country at the verge of collapse, standing up to the British Empire, is too much of an ask for the Reza Shah. I mean, it's already a miracle that Reza Shah managed to save Iran from non-existence. Expecting him to be able to stand up to Great Britain and be like, "Hey, actually, you cannot go through here." That is too much of an ask from Reza Shah. Does that make sense? The British were not waiting for the permission of Reza Shah. In fact, they didn't even tell the British and the Americans and the Russians. They came to Iran and they met there without even notifying the king at some point, as if like he's not even relevant. They were just treating it as if they're their own backyard. It was very insulting to Iran at that time. Oh, Mo saying thank you, dear Armin. Well, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. So let's go to, wow, we got a lot of super chats today. Thank you, guys. Let's see. Naked Assad is saying, from the vibe I feel in Israel, feels like the only guys need convincing to initiate it are the Americans, or at least one American in particular. Yeah, I mean, they don't even need to start. They don't even need to start anything. They just need to stay out of Israel's way. That's what they need to do, because they just need to take out. They just need to let Israel take out Khamenei. That's what we need. Oh yes, Neil Bunny is saying Armin is called presentism. Yes, by the way, be careful, because some Muslims might accuse us of doing that for Muhammad. Okay, so it's wrong to judge people at a different time by today's standard. So then Muslims will say that, okay, but you guys are doing that to Muhammad when when you ask us, like, oh, your Muhammad slept with a 9-year-old, or Muhammad did this, Muhammad did that. The reason why they say that we're doing that, okay, when we're judging Muhammad, they say, like, you should judge him by the standard of his time. So two points. First of all, sleeping with a 9-year-old was not even normal back then. Okay, maybe 11 and 12 was normal, but 9 was not even normal back then. One. Two, presentism is okay when you're judging religions that are trying to bring the standards back then to today. Like, if you were like, if Muhammad did these things back then, and it's just stayed back then it would be bizarre for us to go judge him based on today's standards. But the problem is that it's not staying back then. You guys are saying he's the role model for all men at all times. So you're trying to apply the standard from back then to today. You're using him as a role model. You're trying to bring it to today. So that's why we're judging. That's the reason why we're judging it based on the standards of today, because you're trying to apply it today. But yeah, if it's not a religion, and if you're not trying to bring it and apply it today, then presentism is a fallacy. That's correct, Neil Bunny. And 16 months for membership, Neil Bunny. Thank you for being a member for this long. By the way, yes, guys, being a member of this channel is a really good way to support this channel. Okay, so consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification, and also liking, leaving a comment under the show once the show is over, recommending the channel, and also consider becoming a member. I think I did. I'm so proud of myself today. I was really good at answering the questions. Like, sometimes they're like, oh my god, this Armin, you just how do you have all these answers all the time? I'm becoming very confident on doing these live streams. Like, somebody should clip these out. Like, you know what? I don't have an editor, but I wish I could afford an editor. I just clip some of these out and turn them into their own videos. Okay. I'm waiting for AI to become just smart enough to just, I know Opus Clips does that, but that takes, like, I'm hoping YouTube eventually has this built-in editor that just goes and finds the best parts of your live stream and just automatically clips them out. All right, guys. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to clip videos for me, um, only if you're serious, please. Only if you're serious, because some people just start and then they quit, or they just want to chat some that I don't have time to chat. Okay, only if you're serious, please. This is my no, no, maybe not my Telegram. Email me, okay? Email me and say this is my email. Say like, Armin, I'm gonna be an editor that will clip the best part of your live streams and send you the videos um for you, and then you could help me out. Okay, here's my, but only if you just make like you're serious and you're going to continue and you're not going to quit halfway through, um and I don't have time for chit chat. Okay, all right, guys, I'm going to go, and thank you for being here. Love you guys, love everybody who liked the stream. I do not love you at all if you do not like the stream. In fact, I hate you. Why did you watch the stream without liking the stream? Please like the stream so that you could get my love. Okay? And I'm Israel Chai. Javid Shah. Mwah. Bye.